Fred here. Welcome back to the Your Obsession channel. In this episode, I have finally went outside and grabbed the plate of truth, so we can go ahead and commence part 2 of the alternative gun product myths. This plate has been outside for about 12 days. Now, I had put all the different products up on these top squares. You can see some of them ran down a little bit because it was at a slight angle, so that's why it still looks kind of wet down here. But that did not ruin the test because nothing sort of crossed over into each other's square. It just ran down a little bit. Just a quick recap. Number 2 was Simple Green. Number 3 is the Lithium Grease. Number 4 is the Ballast All. Number 5 is Mobile 1. 6 is CLP. 7 is the 3-in-1 oil. 8 is the silicone spray. And 9 is Militech. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our first product in square number 2. Actually, let's look at square number 1. Square number 1, along with everything else that's not in the squares I just went over, was just plain with nothing on it. And you can see there's rust developing on all of these that did not have protection. So there's our control items there. Now, number 2, which has these really big speckles of rust, was Simple Green. I never would have thought. I did not believe that Simple Green would make metal rust, but there's proof. And it's a different kind of rust than your normal rust, which is really strange. So I really liked using Simple Green to degrease gun parts, but if you do, you better make sure you get all that Simple Green off and then put a coat of some protective product on it. The reason why that I preferred Simple Green is because it's biodegradable, and it's not as harsh on your hands if you don't like wearing gloves like me, compared to other products out there, gun cleaners. So, word of warning, if you use Simple Green, make sure that you get it all off, you clean it all off really good, and you put a protective coat of something else on after you're done cleaning. Moving on. Lithium Grease. Well, let's see if it hardened. I put it on here because I was worried it would get kind of hard. And there's no hard kind of chunks or anything, so that's good. So far Lithium Grease did pretty good. And we're going to have another test coming up real soon, and I'll get to that here at the end of the video. So far Lithium Grease is fine. As a, you put it on your rails on your gun or something like that, instead of using regular gun grease. But we are going to readdress this before I say it's good to go. Next product in square number 4. Square number 4 is Ballast All. And one thing right off the bat, you can see that Ballast All is good at catching bugs. But it did protect. I don't see any rust in there, and it did a good job protecting. No problem. Now, when it got really cold out, it sort of looked a little whitish. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't do as good in lower temperatures. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was just the lighting. I don't want to say whether it did for sure when I took a peek at it one time. But Ballast All's pretty thick stuff. Number 5, Mobile 1. Now, Mobile 1 I was worried about because it didn't say anything about having protection. And Mobile 1 looks like it did just as good as everything else, including good at catching dirt and bugs. So far Mobile 1 did pretty good. 6, CLP. No surprise here. Did pretty good. Didn't catch as many bugs. Number 7, 3-in-1. No rust. Number 8 was the silicone spray. And you can see it got some rust around the edges. That's probably because I didn't get the spray all around the edges there. But this is not something, you know, you put this on the outside of the gun just as the, you know, to protect it a little bit, but it's very thin stuff. And you can see there's rust in between the squares. Again, that's because I probably didn't get to the edges very well. But the regular oils like the CLP and everything seem to sort of hang on a lot better, where the silicone might have been evaporating a little bit quicker. Maybe if I would have put a thicker coat on it, would have done better. And last but not least, Militech. Now Militech, they say you should heat the metal also, which would make it even work better, because it opens up the pores of the metal. I have a hard time believing all that marketing stuff, but it did protect compared to the unprotected. So this is what I'm going to do, because I know you all wanted to see this, but I wanted to give this more of a chance outside. I am going to put this out until we see some more changes in here, where I have something interesting to report, and then I'll bring it back in for a final part 3. So I was going over the comments on part 1 of this video, and a gentleman by the name of Go Green Man had an interesting comment. That's Go Green Man, by the way. Thank you very much for the comment. He said, put it in the oven. Well, not a bad idea. I really wanted to test the lithium grease at high temperatures and compare it to regular gun greases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, get some tin foil and get a toaster oven. By the way, yes, get a toaster oven, because I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to put chemicals and crap, and I'm not going to put it in a toaster oven where I use food. So I bought a really cheap $20 toaster oven. And what we'll do is I'm going to put the lithium grease and then some other gun greases in there and see how well they handle the higher temperatures. I'm going to crank it up between 300 and 500 degrees and see how well it handles it, because that's about how hot a gun could possibly get. You know, every gun is different, but just a little preview at what's coming up next. So thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every Fred, viewer, subscriber, commenter, and a special shout out to Go Green Man for the great comment. And I hope you have a good evening.